I'm going to read to you this message I received from OkCupid saying that, and I printed it out, and then it says read more right here and also read more right here. There is no punctuation in this entire message. No periods, no commas, no semicolons, no dashes, no... So I'm going to read it because this is what I'm going to talk about. I'm sorry, I just want to be friends. I'm not looking for no type of relationship with no type of drama and all that. I listen. I'm not here to be a punching bag for women or pincushion. None like that. I'm just going to be a human being. I usually don't talk to black women because it's too much complication. It's too much bullshit. But I'm giving it a try. I'm giving it a try me now. I see still back to the old same way of complication and bullshit. That's why black men don't stick around with women anymore, black women, and I don't want to be a part of that. Did they analyze everything too fucking much and make too much out of little things? So if you want to talk to me, okay. If you don't pay, I'm cool with it. So I clicked the read more, and I am guessing that I had already unmatched him prior to him sending me that message, because when I clicked read more, it did open up into the message section of my OkCupid, and there was no message from him. And so, yeah. But when I read that, I'm like, what do you do with that? What do you do? What do you do with that? I have on my profile, I do have a doctorate degree. And I'm only saying that to say that, you know, I know how to read effectively. I know how to write effectively. I know how to write to get my point across effectively. I also have on my profile that I'm an analytical, concrete, linear thinker. And as you can see, I'm a black person. So why message me that you don't date black women? Analyze things way too fucking much. I told you I'm an analytical thinker. How much is too much is up to you. Like, that's subjective. But it's like, what do you say to that? Like, am I supposed to be like, oh my gosh, he's willing to give black women a try again, so let me just hurry up and talk to him before he changes his mind? Like, there is nothing enticing at all about his message to make me want to talk to him, because you've already told me you don't like my type, and you don't even know my type except that I'm a black woman. And to me, that sounds like, sorry about that. To me, it sounds like somebody hurt him, or maybe he's just trying to date out of his league. Because like I said, with my stats, why would you even message me? Like, how do you think that's going to turn out? You know what I'm saying? And if you have a preference, that's your preference. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But if you can go out of your way to say all of that, I'm going to spray my face and then use the sponge. If you can go out of your way to say all of that, like, do you really think that that's going to make me want to talk to you? And that's what I'm not understanding is, what's the point? What's the point in messaging a black woman saying you don't date black women, and then you're cursing? And he did use asterisks, and so he didn't actually like write out the whole word bullshit, but he put enough asterisks where, you know, if you can spell, you know that that's what you know that that's what he is saying. And I'm just like, what? Like, what is this thought process? Am I supposed to be glad that you're giving black women a chance again? Like, I wouldn't even want to meet that person. And it must have been something in his messages before that I had decided that I didn't want to talk to him and had unmatched us. And so, but what do you guys think about that? Would you go out of your way to like message someone and say that you normally don't date the type of person that they appear to be? Meaning, yes, I am black, but other than that, he doesn't know me. And if you're going to lump all black women together, that, you know, we're too complicated, we analyze things too much, and it's just too much drama and bullshit, then why even message? Why even do that? And so I was just like a tad, I don't even really know, I'm trying to put together how I felt about that. I was really puzzled. Oh, I forgot my, my concealer. I was really baffled. Like, why did this dude even message me in the first place? And not to say in the first place, because apparently he had messaged me before. And I unmatched this. And so I had already knew that there was something that with this guy, like, this wasn't the one for me. But receiving this message, it's just like, why? And so the question is, like, what is your experience with, if you've received messages from people who say they don't date your kind, meaning whatever ethnicity you are, and even if you have a preference, do you go out of your way to say that? You know what I'm saying? Or do you just stay away from people who are not your preference? That's like if you prefer plus size women, or I'll say, well, just plus size people in general, because this is not a gender thing. Well, not the question that I'm asking. But if you generally date plus size, if your preference is plus size people, would you go out of your way to message someone that's very thin and say, I normally don't date thin women because, you know, they eat salads all the time, or they always just want to work out, or or whatever. Like, what? And that might not have been a good example, but I use that one because I don't say I'm plus size. I say I'm curvy. I've always, yeah. My second husband called me a thick chick. I accept it. I like that term. When I was growing up, I had an uncle who would say, you're not fat, you're pleasantly plump. I accept that. Like, I was never thin. I was never thin. Even when my doctors told me I had big bones, like large bones. And they do that because they measure you around your wrist and other parts of your body. But it's like, why would you, like, where are you coming from that you even think that that's okay? And that I'm really going to want to talk to you after that. Like, what would be the point? Oh, he's giving black women a chance. Let me just represent for all black women in the entire world. Because this ignorant, I was going to say something not so nice. Because this ignorant person wants to just say what he said. Like, I don't understand. And so I'm going to leave this video right here because that's actually all that I kind of want to say. And I'm really curious about what your thoughts are about messages like that. You know, my only preference is men who treat me respectfully and who respect my boundaries and actually want to spend time with me as a person, to get to know me as a person, and not rush to be like, when are you coming over? When are you going to invite me over? And when I dated more, like 5-6 years ago, you know, first date, they're like, when are you going to invite me over? I'm like, I just met you. Like, why would I invite you over? Like, if I'm having, like, you know, a social function or something, I'll invite you over. But, like, for what? Oh, well, you know, this new series on Netflix. I can watch Netflix at home by myself. Like, I don't need company to watch Netflix. And so there was a rare second date, and the same thing. Oh, I forgot to put my blush on. When are you going to invite me over? Or when are you going to come over? And I'm like, I just met you. Like, what? Like, are you having, like, what's going on? Like, like, for what purpose? You know, to just hang out? You know, if I'm getting, when I'm getting to know a person, I want to spend time with that person. I want to hang out with that person. I want to see how they are in the community. I want to see if I enjoy being around them. You can sit with anybody and watch TV, but what is that going to tell me about you? And we both know that that's not what they want to do. They don't want to just watch TV. You know, we're adults. You meet somebody one time, you like their pictures, you like how they look in person, so you want them to come over, what, to watch TV? Really? So I'm also supposed to be a little stupid, right? I'm just going to go in with setting powders. I'm not going to put on the Bordeaux Brat because I usually put that right on top of my foundation, and it blends easier that way since it's a cream product. I had the extremely rare third date. And I find those unfortunate because by that time, I know that I enjoy this person's company. And then after the third date, they invite me over. I'm like, I still don't feel like I know you well enough yet. And then they disappear. And I find that real unfortunate that people don't want to take more time to get to know someone. Like if you want hookups, that's fine. I'm not a hookup person, and I have that on my profile as well, that I am actually looking for an additional partner for an actual relationship. And so I guess they think I'm joking when they message me or they want to come over right away. I just don't, I don't know what it is. I think they're just horny and they're just trying to get what they can get where they can get it. Oh my gosh, this came out so dark right here. I had a conversation with a family member years ago because she noticed that I was going out on dates with non-black men. And she made a comment that, she just liked, the dark complexion. She liked the contrast. And she's, I think, maybe a little, actually she's lighter than me. And she's like, I just like the contrast, between their complexion and my complexion. And, I think we just look really nice together. And I like that too. However, I'm not going to just date someone just because I like their complexion. And I'm not going to change my boundaries, my personal boundaries, just for the sake of having a date with someone. Something that really was off-putting to me, and I was just like, whoa. Second date, and it's not even a thing about money, because I do say, we can do separate checks if we go out to eat, or if they insist on paying and there is a second date, I'll pay for the second date. Like I'll insist, or I'll go ahead of time and get a gift card, so that way they can't argue. I'm like, oh, I have a gift card, da da da. And so it's not even a thing about how they say women want free lunch and men want free sex. So I'm just like, I alleviate that by paying for the second date. And I'm forgetting where I am in my process. Oh, so this guy says, we met out to eat, our first date. And second date, because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, what are we going to do? There was a luncheon coming up, and it was $25 a ticket. And I'm like, oh, that might be, something good. And it was in New Jersey, and him and I were both here in Delaware. So I'm like, okay, that'll give us time in the car on the road to talk and, chit-chat some more. And actually, me paying for those tickets was more than when him and I initially went out to lunch. But it didn't matter because it's not about the money. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that to say, when guys say, oh, they just want free lunch or they just want a free meal, like that's not the case with me. And I know there are some women who do, because I've heard women say that. Well, if I don't like them, at least I get a free meal. And I'm just like, oh, so that's true then for some women. I'm talking slow because I always do when I'm doing my brows. So I might, I'm going to shut up so I can edit some of this out. Or not. So anyway, he says, oh, meanwhile, I know I'm kind of going back and forth. Meanwhile, we were texting back and forth, and he was saying he was having work done in his master bathroom. And I'm just like, why would that be important to me? Like, I barely know you. Like, why do I care about your home renovations? And he lived in Wilmington, which was in the city. And I've been through his neighborhood just because I knew other people in Wilmington. And it was not really a good area, but then I'm like, okay, he's a homeowner. Well, he said he was. I don't know if he was really renting or not. But like you live where you can afford. And there are some nice homes in the inner city. So I didn't knock it. You know what I'm saying? And so after we met the second time, after we went to the luncheon that I paid for us to go to, he had sent me a text like, oh, when you going to come see the work a brother's having done in his master bathroom? And I read the text and I'm like, what the fuck? And so, why would I want to come to your house and see the work he's done in his master bathroom? Like, who even asked that question? And so, I texted him back. I said, well, actually, I've already seen the work you had done in your master bathroom because you sent me pictures. Yeah, he really did send me pictures. And so then he had texted me back. He's like, yeah, I know, but it might, you know, you might appreciate how it looks more in person. And so then I said, well, whatever day you're thinking for me to come over and look at this work in your master bathroom, like, are you also having like a dinner party, or you're having some friends over, or like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, well, nothing's going on. I just wanted you to come see the work in the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, do I look stupid? Do I look dumb? Like, I'm really supposed to believe you really just want me to come over and just walk into your house, walk up your steps, walk through your bedroom, into your bathroom, look at the work you've had done and say, oh yeah, that's nice, and then just leave. So I said to him, I said, well, if you're having a function or something, I'll be more than, you know, happy to come over. If you're having like a barbecue in the backyard or whatever, because it was in the middle of summer too. So I'm like, you know, if you're having a cookout or something like that. This dude says, and actually he ended up, did he call me? No, he didn't. We were still texting. He texted me and he wrote, well, I'm not a rapist and I'm not trying to go back to jail. And I did already know that he had been in jail. I could tell just by his physique when you're buff up top and you got chicken legs. I'm sorry, but it's true. And I had asked him about it when we first had met. I was like, oh, so where'd you do your time? He's like, how you know? And I'm like, I just know these things. And he was like, huh. And so he's like, I'm not a rapist. I'm not trying to go back to jail. And I was just reading the message like, oh my gosh, like what the hell? Like nobody ain't say nothing about nobody raping nobody or trying to set you up to go back to jail. So that was like a little bit too much. Like, dude. For you guys who are watching this, like, what are your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts about, how do you feel when it's been 1 or 2 dates and you ask somebody over and they say that they feel like they don't know you well enough yet? However, they do look forward to still seeing you and going out on activities with you. How do you feel about that? Because it leads me to believe, okay, they really were just wanting sex. Otherwise, why would they disappear? Please let me know if I'm wrong. And for women, or just anybody in general, all of you in general, when you are in this type of situation where someone says that to you and you decline going on and they disappear, what do you think? Or if you invite someone over and they say they're not ready yet, you know, to come to your place, but however they do want to still keep seeing you, what are your feelings about that? And this type of message, I don't date black women, and too complication and too much bullshit and analyze things too fucking much, and I don't want to be a punching bag or a pin cushion, and that's why black men don't date black women. Like, what's your thoughts on all of that? And I do apologize, this video is longer than I thought it was going to be, and I do realize I was talking slow because I was trying to do my face paint. But yeah, so those are the questions. And if you are still here, thank you for watching. Go ahead and subscribe, click the notification bell, and you will see me in the next video. Bye.